Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Bonafide, and this is from the Cheap Seats, Tennessee Titans podcast, but from a fan's perspective, man. So, something new we're doing. We told you had something new coming on after the season. I'm so glad to have my dog, my homie. I've known him for a couple of years now, and he is a bright football mind, my man Trey. Trey, what's going on, man? How you doing, bro?
What's good, man? What's good, man? What's cracking with you, man? How you
Hey,
doing?
man, look. You know me, I've been sick for the past couple of days, so like that's what took
Yeah.
so long for us to get this off the ground and everything. But finally, you can hear it in my voice. I mean, I kind of sound like Barry White right now, but we back, dog. So yeah, man. So for the people that's tuning in, hey man, this is my man. Y'all know me, but I'm gonna let Trey give him a little second, man, so he can introduce you if you may not know him, man. So Trey, man, tell the people about yourself, man. Tell them who
Hey,
you are.
hey, man. I've been involved with uh, quote unquote Titans content creation since I was maybe around, I don't know, 17, 18 years old. I'm
All
25
right.
now, man. So I've been writing for a couple sites. Started off at Armchair Sports. Sites discontinued now. Bounced
Okay.
around from Brawl Sports Network discontinued now. You see a theme here. You see a theme, bro.
Everybody
Uh,
discontinued.
went over to Broadway Sports Media. Had some intern stuff going on at A to Z Sports Meet or A to Z Sports, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, went back over to Broadway Sports. Joined over with. I'm sure you all know Zach Lyons, host of the radio
Okay.
show 104.5 The Zone.
Cover two
Joined
with
his
Zach.
started contributing over his site at Stacking the Inbox. So
Okay.
go check that out. By the way, and got some real good. They probably have some real good stuff that's gonna drop around draft season and everything. But yeah, I've just been content creation scene. I had a podcast for a little before this one, a little
Okay.
podcast for this one, for about a year and a half. Just stopped doing that along the way though. But um, content creation is not foreign to me. It's not foreign. It's just I do it a little bit inconsistently, which is I am trying to change. I'm trying to change.
That's what we
Over the
changing right here.
That's what I'm saying. Like over the past season, I was streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. I was reacting to Titans games and everything, and I was doing
Uh-huh.
that inconsistently. For the first couple weeks, I was cool with it, but I started doing it inconsistently because Titans sucked and nobody cared about watching the
Exactly.
show.
Exactly.
So,
And what's crazy though is that we started doing it at the same time. Like you was on
yeah, we
Twitch
did.
and I was on YouTube. I was like, okay, Trey. I would send my people to Trey. Trey would send his people to me. Then Trey just kind of like fell off the face of the map. But it's all good though. It's all good. That's why I got you here.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
sir,
smart football,
man.
man. Hey, look. So, but yeah, man, this is just us. It's gonna be us talking about Tennessee Titans football. So let's go ahead, get the I guess we'll say quote unquote monkey off our backs.
Yes,
Now
sir.
we already know Rand, R.I.P. to Rand. He's no
Yep.
longer here no more. But
Hmm.
and now in a flurry of moves, we got all new guys. We got all new. We got Borgonzi. He's the new GM. I'm gonna use air
GM.
quotes. I'm gonna use air quotes to like the first big deal go down. I'm using air quotes. So we got Borgonzi. We know Chad Brinker's in charge now. Um, they hired who else did they hire? Dave
Reggie
Ziegler.
McKenzie, man. Yeah, Ziegler, Reggie McKenzie.
Yeah, yeah,
I believe
yeah.
they hired someone else. I can't. It's not clicking off the top of my head right now, but they really remade that entire structure hierarchy of that front office, which has a whole bunch of roles now, but
Uh huh.
not a lot of clarity on who's doing what all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, but
It, it's kind of crazy too, though, because it's like you would figure. I mean, I guess if they hadn't blown anything up, we kind of would have understood it. But it's just like we've been told that Chad is going to have final say over the roster,
hmm
but then we got a GM, an assistant GM, a football advisor VP. That's what Reggie McKenzie is. So it's
yep.
kind of like it's not a lot of clarity behind like what's going to be happening here at Ascension St. Thomas Park. So yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about that? How do you feel? I know how I feel, but what's
I
your
mean,
take on it?
I'm pretty sure you followed me on Twitter. Everybody knew that I just didn't approve of this whole changing of the guard with the hierarchy because
Mm-hmm.
it felt like that, of course, the whole Rand firing and everything, and felt like they were just dumping all the responsibility on him. Now,
Right.
I don't know the full story. I'm not in the facility. I'm not around those guys, so I don't know the full story of
Mm-hmm.
why truly why they fired Rand, what went down, and everything. But on the outside, based on the information that they have, the firing was out of the blue and kind of weird, man.
Yeah.
Which, if you're gonna fire Rand, you got to get rid of Callahan too at head coach. So, but
yeah, I was of that thought process too. It's like if one go, all of them got to go. But obviously, looks like Rand was on the walking the plank, and nobody else was. Everybody else was in the kitchen.
Yeah. But so I mean, at this point now, it's more so like I don't know, man. The whole hierarchy. We literally just got Borgonzi in here, maybe about 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah,
something
not
like
even.
That. Yeah. So we just got to see how this all shapes out, man.
Yeah, and I think, and I said this in a video that I made a couple of weeks ago, like after Rand was fired. I said all this probably could work out. Everything could work out. Chad Brinker could be the missing piece. He could have been like the Floyd Reese and of this era, and everything is working out. It just felt in that regard, especially knowing that we got the number 1 overall pick, which week 10, I didn't think we was gonna get it, bro.
Look who you telling.
I had no clue. I was like, it was like we were in it, but then we weren't in it. It was like I forgot what game it was. It's like if we beat this team, if we beat the Colts, then boom, we're back in it. We possibly got a look like there's a sliver of hope. And I forgot what game we lost to where everybody was like, "Hey, dog, we should be focusing on the number 1 pick."
It was after that Texans game. I can't remember which one.
I feel like that's the game too. But what's crazy though, Trey, is like, how did we get that number 1 pick? Like the Raiders winning games, the Giants winning games. Man, every week, like on the live stream that we had on the week, I was like, is this really happening? Because I'm looking at the bottom line and I'm seeing like these teams, like you're winning. And I get why they were winning. Like I get why Antonio Pierce was trying to win because he was trying to save his job. But how did we luck up into the number 1 pick? I don't know. But this is what I want to ask you, Trey. This is what I ask you. Because Trey's the football guy. I'm the fan. I'm the fanatic. Trey's been doing this. He's in the city. He's been there. He's been in the facility. It's going on. What do you think we should do about this number 1 pick, dog?
Take a quarterback, man. Take a quarterback.
Hey, see, Trey, I knew this is why I messed with you, dog. I knew this is why you messed with me. Because we're on the same thing. We're on the same thing.
Take a quarterback, man. Because if you look at it if you take the entire number 1 pick situation, let's say you got a big old table, nice wood table with a polished finish, man. Spread the whole number 1 pick situation out on the table. You have 3 routes, actually. I was about to say 3 routes. Number 1, you pick your quarterback, right? Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, those are your top 2 guys. I don't want to hear anything about Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
None of that, all right? Ward, Sanders, those are your guys. I think everybody knows that by now. 2, you have Travis Hunter, of course. Or actually, no. Let me go back. 4 options, actually. Okay. Ward, Sanders, 2, Travis Hunter. That's probably, I would say, the least likeliest scenario of when it comes to picking a player at 1. Right. 3, you have Abdul Carter, which is probably the most popular sentiment among fans right now.
We're going to talk about that in a minute, though. That part.
Absolutely. And number 4, you have traded down, which I'm not a big fan of. Usually in the past, I personally would be a big fan of trading down. I love draft picks. I love collecting draft picks. But when it comes to this specific draft, because usually with trade down, you're seeing an allocation of picks being received, more so that allocation being for picks for that current draft. The problem with that this year is that this current draft, and we've heard this going back as far as, I don't know, August, September, maybe even October. Yeah. This draft is not deep. It's not deep. It's extremely top heavy. And I honestly mean extremely top heavy. I'm meaning maybe about 5 to 10 players that you could throw out on a dartboard and say, yeah, that's going to be a blue chip player. That's going to be a guy you could give out a lot of money to and he'll produce. Right? Wow. So... And that's the thing. This draft is not deep, man. In the past, I was being, what's the word I'm looking for? Conservative when it came to amount of blue chip talent because I was saying around maybe 15 to 20.
Yeah, because that's what you would expect. Yeah, you
Yeah,
kind of a big number, especially coming out of college and after
yeah.
COVID, you expect 15, 20, but you saying it's not even that?
No, and the thing is, it's mostly because of how the prospect situation shaped out this year.
Yeah.
This year, and that's the thing that goes deep into number four. I would only be a fan of trading down if you get a future haul or a haul of future picks for
Yeah.
next year's draft.
Oh yeah.
2026 draft is supposed to be way better than the draft this year, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just looking ahead. Not even
Projecting out there, yeah.
not even exactly not even analyzing with a whole bunch of accuracy and seriously analyzing everything. 2026 is supposed to be a way better draft than this. That's the only way I'm an advocate of trading down. But it literally goes like this: literally goes like one Ward Sanders, 2A, 2B,
Mm-hmm.
Hunter, Abdul Carter, 3 trading down. That's how it
Yeah.
goes for me.
Hey, look, I'm in agreement with you too, and that's what I've been hearing. Like when I look at the mock draft board, because I've been following like Todd McShay, all the pundits, everybody on the boards,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them saying that the class isn't strong, and I get that, I understand it. Don't get me wrong, like it's a weak class, and I also get. I think Zach was actually one of the ones I think I was talking to who said that we probably shouldn't compare this quarterback class to last year's quarterback class because that was like
Mm-hmm.
just an anomaly, things like that.
It was.
But I am 100% with you when it comes to getting a quarterback. Like even though these quarterbacks, they might say they're not last year's quarterback, but these quarterbacks right here, they're no slouches. Like
No.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a Shedeur guy. I'm a perfect timing guy. I want to see him in two-tone
Yes,
blue,
sir.
things like that. I want to be able to bust down my AP. This ain't no AP. Don't try to break into the house. It ain't no AP. It's a Samsung Galaxy watch. I got it in the trade in. But I
Amen.
want to see that. But if Cam Ward's name pops up for me, I'm not gonna be sad. I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna just
No.
find out. I'm gonna be like, hey, well, he don't have no theme song, so I'm gonna just have to make one up with him in Fruity Loops. That's how it's gonna be. But I just don't. And I and a lot of people keep saying they either keep saying, hey, let's draft Abdul Carter with number one, or Travis Hunter with number one, or let's trade the picks out. Like all three of those scenarios don't get you out of the proverbial dumpster fire that we're in right now. Now,
Mm-hmm.
does Shedeur and does either Cam Ward get you out of it? Possibly. Because we've seen what a quarterback can do. Because look, tell me if I'm wrong, Trey. What did they say about Bo Nix? Was Bo
Yeah.
Nix that guy? He
No.
wasn't that guy.
No.
He was just like, oh, he left Auburn, he went to Oregon, you know, he's playing in the system,
Mm-hmm.
he might be good. And then Bo
Yeah.
Nix came out here, did his thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what I'm looking like. If you want to get, and now we're talking about a Broncos franchise that, I can't really name a lot of playmakers. Maybe Sertan on the defensive side,
Yeah.
but who on there? I don't know. So that's what I keep looking at when I see Shedeur and I see that. I see franchise changers, and I know people
Mm-hmm.
talking about, oh well, like you probably heard this, that Cam Ward is like Will Levis 2.0 because all the turnovers, and
Yeah.
then Shedeur, the arm strength, things like that. But for me personally, if we want to get out of this funk, if we want to move forward, I think we got to take a quarterback. And I ain't talking about Jackson Dart either. It's got to be
Nope.
either
Mm-mm.
Cam or Shedeur. We can't go any other way. I don't think in this scenario. And and I put it like this, and you tell me what you think about this. Is that
Mm-hmm.
it's also a money thing too. Like I
Mm-hmm.
get it, we fans, we got to win games, things like that. But think about
Mm-hmm.
it. A Cam Ward or a Shedeur Sanders, and to a certain extent, a Cam Ward is going to
Mm-hmm.
put eyeballs on our franchise because he's
Mm-hmm.
the first overall draft. At least for 1 year,
Yeah.
we're going to have those eyes on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many games the Bears got on TV just simply because Caleb Williams there. And then we know
Yeah.
what Jaden Daniels was doing, things like that. Now, obviously, different type caliber quarterbacks, but at the beginning of the line, end of the day, it's money. I mean, you got to put butts in seats. You got a new stadium that's coming up, and I feel like if you draft Shedeur Sanders, you might not like it, but all that comes with him, the well-off media, the legendary chain, all that's a positive in my opinion. That's a positive.
Absolutely. And that's the other aspect when it
Mm-hmm.
like, and I'm glad you really talked about the money aspect and everything, because you're right. With the new stadium coming in 2027, the Titans need to put butts in seats.
Yes.
The problem with that whole situation now for the Titans, that the Titans have had a reputation hit locally over the past
Mm-hmm.
couple seasons, combined with getting rid of Mike Vrabel, the instability of this past season, the bad record, the poor play on
Mm-hmm.
the field. They've had a reputation hit locally, man. So they need somebody. And you touched on it well. Shedeur Sanders gives them the best chance of that.
Mm-hmm.
For them to build some buzz locally,
Yeah.
forget nationally for a second. Forget nationally,
Yeah.
locally, so they can at least start putting butts in seats. Because let me tell you, let me put it to you like this: Amy Adams Strunk is not one of the wealthiest owners in the National Football League.
Oh no.
She's just not, man. She
Nah.
shells out a lot of she shelled out a lot of money in the past for facility upgrades, for contracts, more notably that big free agency spree last offseason. She's
Mm-hmm.
not one of the most wealthiest owners in the National Football League.
Right.
Okay? She needs, and combine that with the fact that, of course, the NFL with the whole stadium deal, she did pay a hefty sum of money as well. The Titans, the organization did, but the
Mm-hmm.
NFL had to, come in and
Yeah.
give in a piece of the pie as well for that stadium deal.
Uh-huh.
And some people gloss over that. The NFL had to come in and help shell in, some of the money and help the
Right.
Titans foot some of the bill, man.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right.
Amy Adams Strunk needs butts and seats. She needs
Mm-hmm.
an exciting product, and she needs the NFL to look at that town. The NFL already looks at Nashville as a destination where they can bring events to,
Oh right. Yeah. Yeah.
100% right now.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of potentially branching this franchise out back into the national scale, the national brand they were building towards, and were from around 2020, 2021, 2022, when they were building towards that, she needs butts and seats, and she
Right.
needs a quarterback to do that. You're
Right.
not doing that with Abdul Carter, man. He might be a look. Abdul Carter might be the quote unquote very best football move at 1.1
Yeah.
whatever
BPA, the best player
B-
available. Yeah. Yeah.
BPA,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in a specific and unique situation where you need a face of the franchise, a guy where you can plaster on the game programs, the brochures, the flags downtown, the
Mm-hmm.
commercials, man, the marketing, face of the franchise, face of the market, everything. You need that to put the butts in seats. If you
Oh,
don't put the
absolutely.
butts in seats, man, that bill for that stadium is not gonna be pretty, man.
Oh
It's
no.
not gonna be pretty. And we know
Absolutely.
how Amy Adams Strunk responds when things don't really go as intended. So
She
we,
fire
we,
you.
we
She
know.
get you up out of
Yes.
there. Look,
So
hey,
she needs butts and seats. If she'll get butts and seats, it's not gonna be pretty. That's all
yeah,
I'll say.
I do. And look, like I said, we have to. They have to put those buses in seats because look,
Mm-hmm.
that stadium is going to. They're going to get a Super Bowl. We're going to get a Super Bowl in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So why not have a team that's attractive? Like because if you be, it's a small market, but they want to promote Nashville. But we can't
Yeah.
promote Nashville with a 2-14 record. We can't do it. And the only way we can try to change that is getting that quarterback. I think it's got to be either between Cam Ward things. Now we could probably deal in there, and we probably do a whole episode on just Cam versus them. But
Absolutely.
I think in this scenario, either one of them is coming in a way better situation than it was before. Because you think about it, what Will Levis came into was basically I almost say piecemeal. So I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. Because when
Mm-hmm.
Will took over, they said, "Hey, Will, you're gonna be the number one guy." We were still looking for a left tackle. We still looking for a right tackle. The center that we had, he was jettisoned. Then we signed one, and then that's where I was like kind of pissed off when Rand got fired because Rand did a lot of. I believe he did a lot of good work trying to fill holes to make the team competitive. And
Mm-hmm.
I will always stand on the platform that we as fans went overboard with that. When we saw the money flying off the shelf, Calvin Ridley sign with us. We saw L'Jarius Sneed sign with us. We saw Cushionberry. We was the Tony Pollard. I'm like, oh man, like we got players. Like these are players that we hadn't had in a long time. And it's just like it kind of just it just hyped us up.
Mm-hmm.
But really, we were just trying to fill in the gaps and fill in the holes. And I'll always stand on that particular comment is that, and don't get me wrong, if you go back and look at my live streams, I was out there losing my mind that first couple of games to see because I really thought we had a chance when we really probably should have took the under in wins at the beginning of the season. That's where we should have been at.
Absolutely, and that's what we were we were trying to hammer on that specific. Like I remember personally writing a couple pieces on that. Mm-hmm. I think I remember Zach talking, glossing over that as well.
Yeah.
The Titans brought in those guys, like you said, they brought in those guys to, fill in holes with the best talent available at the time. Mm-hmm. Because coming off that 2022 season, what was it, 2022? 2022 season? No, 2023 season, I should say. Okay. 2023 season. When, the whole Vrabel and stuff was going on. That roster, we knew that roster just wasn't good, man. It just was not. It was not good. The offensive line wasn't good. I'm trying to remember. I literally flushed that 2023 season.
Hey, look, I think everybody did. we had Brewer at center.
And the wide receiver situation was terrible, man. It was ridiculous, man. So, and I don't know, man. But flushing all that out the way, right? Okay. The Titans needed something, all right, because that roster was going downhill, and it was going downhill pretty fast, man.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Rand Carthon got those players, filled in those holes where he saw fit, and of course, the holes that he filled at the time, with the free agency pool available. Mm-hmm. I give them a good job for that because those were, I personally believe at the time those were good deals. Good deals at the time, good transactions, right?
Yeah.
Things didn't work out this past season. Mm-hmm. Sneed was when he was playing, when he was healthy, then he got hurt. Kenneth Murray, I will say that signing sucked. All right, I was never a fan of Kenneth Murray, and probably never will be.
Right? You weren't a fan of Kenneth Murray?
I was not, man. He was. When he's literally a classic case of a meathead linebacker that just sees ball, go ball, or not see ball, go ball. That's what good linebackers do. He's just not a good inside linebacker. Okay, I would not want him starting on my team. Ernest Jones, very good pickup. Traded him at the deadline because the team was going nowhere. They needed some sort of return for him. Yeah. Cushionberry was starting to get into his own and gelling with that group before he got hurt, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm trying to remember the rest of the guys, man. Diggs, man. Diggs was okay. But
I feel like he's okay too. Right before that Liz Frank injury, that foot thing really took him out. So
so the moves Carthon made sense. They didn't work out, fine. Like he said on his radio appearance a couple weeks ago, it's a results-based business, man.
Right.
The NFL will always be a results-based business, man. But when it comes to the Titans situation last year, you have to add context. Otherwise, you just sound like another brainless fan that doesn't want to understand the true inner workings of the team.
Yeah. Red wasn't cooking. Like, dog. He was trying to. It is what it is. But
and even then, the moves were made on the basis of trying to build a base, a foundation to see if Will Levis was the guy. That was the other thing too.
Yeah, so. that was the main. That we should have kept the main thing, and I don't think we did that. The main thing was to say, hey, can Will Levis be the future of the Tennessee Titans? And if I look at it like this, we already know the answer is no. But the answer would have been maybe so if we win those first two games. We win the game against season could go the rest of the way, but if we win that game against Chicago and we win that game against the Jets, and then everything else goes the same way, you're probably looking at it's like, hey, you know what? Okay, I can rock with Will. But
maybe. But yeah, it's just that's the way it happened. But yeah, you just needed context with those moves, man. And
Yeah.
Now you're looking at the foundation more so like you're going to bring a quarterback in, right? You have those pieces. The Titans still have like $50 to $60 million in cap room,
Yeah, I
bro.
think it's like
They have
55 mil. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
they have loads of cap room available, bro, but they still have holes, man.
Yeah.
You still got receiver, you still have right guard and right tackle potentially.
Uh
You
huh.
still have quarterback. Gosh, quarterback, man. Quarterback.
Yeah.
Jeez, edge rusher,
Edge
interior
rusher.
defensive line, inside linebacker, maybe safety depending on what they do with Diggs, man. I mean, this
Yeah.
team still has holes, man. It's just
So
and
so
that
so so piggybacking off of that, where you and I know we probably want to talk to it because we got like maybe a few minutes left, but where do you think like free agency wise, like the one deal I keep seeing come up, Trey, is Trey Smith.
yeah.
Trey Smith. We all know from Tennessee, from Jack. Okay, so this is my Trey Smith story. My niece used to be friends with his girlfriend. I don't know if they married or something like that, but they used to be friends. Went to the same high school, blah, 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 things like that. So, like, I keep seeing his name pop up with us. You know what I saw the other day? Cooper
What's up?
Kupp.
Huh.
Yes. I saw Cooper
He
Kupp's
is
name
hitting
pop
the
up.
market. I forgot,
Yeah.
man.
Puka took his spot. So, I think he's looking for another thing. But, like, that's the thing. Like, if we and I'll start with that. I'll let you answer that question, but then I want to stick a pin in something. But who do
Okay.
you think, or what have you been hearing about that? But I got something I want to ask you after that.
Okay. I mean, based on what Borgonzi said at his press conference with Brinker and everything, it sounds like they want to change the tune of, how they approach free agency from last year. We know last year Carthon brought in a lot of players and everything, lots of money being spent.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the team wants to be more conservative for free agency, which is totally fine. But, I want Borgonzi and the rest of that Titans front office to listen to me on this. Trey,
Uh-huh.
if you're going to splash on a free agent,
Right.
Trey Smith's your guy. This is
Yeah.
your guy, man. All right.
Yeah.
This upcoming free agency class has some names. Trey Smith is your guy, man. Okay. You have a potential hole at right guard, right? Potential hole at right guard. You slot Trey Smith on that offensive line from left to right, excluding right tackle. You got Latham, you got Skoronski, you got
Yep.
Cushenberry, who should be back.
Should be bad. Yeah.
And then you have Trey Smith, and then you'll just have right tackle to fill, which you could address in free agency in the draft. I don't know, do what you want to do. The problem
We
with Trey
kicking rat ass out the art. Nah, just playing. I know this.
Smith,
But Radish, you finally get to go to right tackle, brother. We've been holding you back. But nah, I'm thinking that's who I want. Because
Yeah.
you're right. That's a major hole. And then you think about it. Let's say you get a Trey Smith. Let's say you get a Shedeur Sanders or Ward in the draft. Now we start to look way more attractive as a team. That you know what I'm saying? Like because players gonna think about that. Now I'm not like remember when Joakim Noah said, "Man, we in Cleveland. What's there to do in Cleveland?" Yeah, man. That's how I feel like some players feel about Tennessee. It's like, hey, dog, it's Tennessee. Like, I mean, Nashville pull 'em. Yeah. So, but this is what I think. This is what I want to say. I was thinking, I was like, hey, with these free agencies, if they see us get a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward, and they see us get a Trey Smith, I feel like that'll pull in some people that we weren't expecting. Like, we need another wide receiver to go along with Calvin Ridley. Calvin's gonna be Calvin. I feel like Calvin. 70% of it was the quarterback. 30% of it was him.
What's Calvin? Absolutely.
That's how I feel about it. Could Calvin have done more things? But I think Calvin was like, dog, this guy ain't even giving me the rock right now. And look, Callahan already said what he said about NWI. He said, hey, I wish I would have realized his value earlier. And we all know Treylon Burks is going to be in somebody's deer stand this coming up season. He's not going to be in two-tone blue. So that I don't do. But I feel like if we make those particular type of moves and we make those kind of adjustments, I think through free agency and through the draft, we might be able to kind of cobble together. I mean, because, dog, the division.
The division's looking kind of mid, man.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of mid, bro.
mid being nice because we talk about a team that we support that's in that division. But
literally in the mud. We're in the mud of the mid division, man.
oh yeah,
Jackson,
the mud of the mid.
like Jacksonville is ag, you know. Indianapolis is in whatever crap show they got going on. The Texans are the only competent situation right now in the division, and even then they have problems, man.
Yeah,
so
they just fired Bobby. They just let Bobby Slowick go.
Yeah,
You remember at one point in time we were thinking about getting Bobby Slowick?
Didn't want that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I heard that chatter and I was so upset.
That's man, he's like Slowick. But now Slowick's out. Like I don't even know who they got it to. So it's not like it's gonna take it's not like we're in the Chiefs division or we're in Washington division where it's gonna take like a monumental effort for us to be competitive. We just gotta get the right players in the right spots to do it. And I feel like and that's why all the changes that happen at the beginning of the offseason kind of makes you unwary because you really don't know. We don't know these guys. Mm-hmm. We don't know that. We're going to have to wait until this. So technically, they're better off than what they were when Rand came in with Mike because he was just coming in, hey, I'm with these guys. These guys are here, blah, 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 blah. And last season was his first real draft season. This season, Brian Callahan's here. Chad Brinker, he's been here. So Borgonzi, Ziegler, and McKenzie are all kind of like working in together, but they pretty much know who. I'm pretty sure they already know who's on their big board.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, I believe so too. It's just I don't believe it gets finalized. I think they got a rough estimate though of guys that like the.
Oh yeah. So we almost we almost about to wrap this joint up. We got about a couple more minutes, but yeah. So, question, Trey.
What's up?
Gun to your head. You're just coming out of Kroger's. You got 2 big K's in your hand. You're about to go to the house. You're about to watch the Super Bowl. Burglar comes around. Gun to your head. Hey, I saw you on that freaking podcast with the other guy. Right now. Gun to your head. Who you picking number 1 overall? Gun to your head. Who you pick?
Oh gosh, that's so tough, man. Oh my gosh, bro. Like I'll say this. My 2 choices are between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, 100%. Yeah. It's just that I've advocated for Shedeur Sanders for about 5 months now, man. See my tweets? I literally just kept posting that video and that edit, man. Again, gosh, that's an entire different situation. He knows about it. That's an entire different situation with the edit, man. But I've wanted Shedeur Sanders simply because, like, okay, you know, that's the star power, that's the brand building, and you don't even have to develop the guy initially. He's just a brand right there, and then, and plus even then, I'll just say this. When it comes to the footballing aspect, I'll leave the brand stuff aside. The footballing aspect, Shedeur Sanders is the type of quarterback that, let's just say, you can safely gamble on. And I'll say that only because Shedeur Sanders, and I'm sure people know what Shedeur Sanders is about at this point. Shedeur Sanders isn't, the most athletic, doesn't have the strongest arm, and he can take too many sacks sometimes. Right. But what he can give you is timing and accuracy, which is one of the biggest things Will Levis struggled with over, his first 2 seasons. Intermediate throws, timing and accuracy, bro. You need timing and accuracy to be really good at quarterback in this league. If you don't have it, you're going to suck. Point blank, period. Right? Timing and accuracy, timing and accuracy with Shedeur Sanders, man. That's one thing. 2, escapability. He does have a very good tendency and a very good feel of how to escape throughout the pocket and everything. Does that get him in trouble sometimes? Absolutely. But he does have escapability to where he can extend some plays and make some things happen. Okay? All right. Now, the negatives. Well, I already said the negatives. On to the positives about Cam Ward. Escapability, the modern archetype of franchise quarterback with the the ability to make big plays and out of structure. I'd say accuracy is a little bit of a plus, but I'll get back to that. Get back to that later. And plus his arm. His arm's better than Shedeur. It isn't a rocket bazooka arm, but it's still a good arm. It's a good arm, right? And also the mobility with Cam Ward. Cam Ward has a good bit of mobility that you can count on. Negatives with Cam Ward, some of the same with Shedeur Sanders. Takes too many sacks,
Right.
gets himself into trouble, and he has the bad tendency with the hero ball tendency, man.
Right.
Will Levis had that same tendency. It cannot be coached out of him, right?
Right.
You can that the hero ball tendency is coachable. You can coach that out of somebody. You can hone that in. Okay. But it's more so about seeing where it's at, honing it in, and making sure it doesn't get out of control like Levis, right?
Right.
So I don't know, man. Like if I was taking a safe option, of course I'll take Shedeur. If I wanted the project, well, not a project. He's not really a project, but he has more things to work on, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I would, of course, take Cam, but gosh, man, that's tough.
I know.
I will say right now, I'm probably leaning more towards Cam, simply because that I can't ignore the prospect of having a guy that can make these crazy plays,
Right.
out of structure,
Mm-hmm.
mobility, escapability. I can't ignore that. I every single time I play Madden, when I'm playing franchise mode, I've always looked for those quarterbacks that have those traits, man. Always, man. That's absolutely that's the best, man. So I can't ignore that. But if the Titans take Shedeur Sanders or if they take Cam Ward, I won't be mad. You just need a quarterback now. You need a quarterback. Abdul Carter's good. Travis Hunter's good. Trading down could be. It sounds like a good option in theory as well. But you need a quarterback. Okay? Yeah. And if you don't get one next year, you're going to have to bank on one, being bad enough to get a quarterback next year, which if you're bad enough next year, heads are going to roll in the front office again. Based on history with Amy Adams Strong. Or two, you're going to have to trade picks and trade up, which I personally don't want the Titans to do because the 2027 draft is supposed to be looking monstrous, man. Okay? Jeremiah Smith, wide receiver, Ohio State. Colin Simmons of Texas. Real good, freaky, lanky, twitchy edge rusher from Texas. Like, there is a lot of freshman talent in college football right now, or this past season.
That are going to say Ryan Williams.
Ryan Williams, man. Gosh, Ryan Williams. Like, there was so much freshman talent that killed the college football scene this past year, and they're going to be eligible in 2027. I do not want to trade 2027 picks next year. Right. I do not. Okay? Get a quarterback this year. Okay? You might have to go the route of saying, okay, is he the guy within the first 2 years? If he isn't, get rid of him. You might have to do that. Okay? But you need a quarterback. Okay? Yeah. I don't want to draft one 2026. I don't. And I don't know about 2027 because gosh,
who's coming out 2026? I keep hearing the name Arch Manning. That's
Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, Nussmeier.
Here's some other names. I can't
Beck
remember.
will probably come back. He'll be back in that thing, but we kind of know who he is.
Absolutely,
as a quarterback. So
absolutely. So it's you got to be careful. You need a quarterback, man.
And you need a quarterback. You know what? I am in total agreement with you. Like, if you watch my live streams, I'm always doing a Shedeur. But when it looks at it, it just feels like Cam Ward might be, if we have to take one, he might be the guy. And somebody told us was saying the other day is that Shedeur will bring you the money. Shedeur is going to bring you the brand, bring that attention to you. Shoot, if we draft Shedeur, we probably 100% gonna be on Hard Knocks because we're one of those eligible teams. We can't avoid it anymore. It's only like 4 teams that are eligible, and I think we're one of them. But with Cam Ward, like he that funny clip that they showed out here, he's like, man, I don't think about nothing else. I ain't got no hobbies. All I want to do is play football. That's all I want to do. That make your ears perk up. Be like, oh, that's all I want to do. You don't want to go to the hookah lounge after the game. You're not trying to show up now off of Broadway. You just want to play football. Oh, dog. Here this number 1 jersey, ball. Take that thing.
Take it.
Matter of fact, here are the keys. Where are my keys? Here are the keys to the facility. You can go in there today if you want to. But I can't. We have to. We have to take a quarterback. Now, some people might disagree. If they go disagree, put it in the comments because it's on YouTube, things like that. But yeah, man, this was we finna wrap this joint up because we been if me and Trey keep talking, we'll talk about talk about the Titans all day. But we got the next podcast. This is our pilot episode. We're gonna make sure. So tell us the feedback, whether you like it, you love it. If you like it, throw a like on there. My man Trey, he's gonna be here with me. This is it. It's Bonafide and Tre. Trey and Bonafide. Unless one of us gets sick, or unless one of us get to go to the game, then we're gonna have to figure something else out. But we're gonna be here. We're gonna try to do a podcast at least every week. I'm gonna make sure that when the draft come up on draft night, it's gonna be a live stream on the YouTube channel, 62.
Absolutely.
Make sure you join in with it. But Trey, man, hey man, it was a pleasure, man. So
sir.
It's the start of a great new thing, man. So
great new journey, man.
Yeah, new journey.
Yes,
Consistently. And we try not to discontinue this one.
Keep it going, bro. Keep it going.
All right, man. Well, I'm Bonafide, and that's Trey, and man, and this has been from the Cheap Seats, man. Y'all have a good one. Take it easy, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.